I'll try. It sounds responsible, humble even, like you're being realistic about what you can deliver. But look closer and you'll find something else hiding inside that word, try. A pre-built exit. A way to claim the effort without accepting the result. That's not humility. That's self-deception with good manners. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. The word try exists in a comfortable middle ground between intention and commitment. It lets you show up to the conversation with effort on the table while quietly reserving the right to walk away without consequence. If it works, you get the credit. If it doesn't, you were only trying, and everyone understood that from the start. It feels safe because it is safe, and that's exactly the problem. Safety, in this context, is another word for low stakes. And low stakes produce low results. When there's no real commitment behind an action, there's no real pressure to follow through. The escape hatch is already built in before you've even begun. Here's what trying actually does. It separates you from your results. When you say, I'll try to wake up earlier, you're not making a decision. You're making a gesture toward a decision. The outcome remains optional. And when something is optional, the first moment of resistance is usually enough to end it. You tried. It was hard. That counts for something, right? No, it doesn't. Effort without commitment is just activity. It keeps you busy without moving you forward. Worse, it gives you the psychological reward of having, in quotes, done something without requiring you to actually change. Over time, this becomes a pattern, a way of engaging with your own goals at arm's length, never close enough to be held accountable, never far enough away to admit you've given up. That pattern has a cost, and most people pay it for years without recognizing what it is. The fix is simple, but it isn't easy. Replace I'll try with I commit to, and then finish the sentence with something specific and measurable. Not I commit to eating better. That's still vague enough to fail quietly. Instead, I commit to logging every meal for the next 7 days. Not I commit to working out more. Instead, I commit to being in the gym every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. for the next 3 weeks. Notice what happens when you make the language specific. The exit disappears. There's no longer a gray area where effort substitutes for results. Either you logged the meals or you didn't. Either you were in the gym or you weren't. Commitment forces clarity, and clarity forces accountability. That's not comfortable. It's not supposed to be. But it's the only version of the conversation that actually moves you forward. The ancient Stoics understood something about this that most people miss. The choices we make, our proeresis, our will and intention, are the only things truly within our control. Not outcomes, not circumstances, not how other people respond. Only our choices. When you say, I'll try, you're abdicating that choice before you've made it. You're handing the result over to circumstance and calling it realism. When you say, I commit, you're doing the opposite. You're planting a flag in the only territory you actually own. Do this consistently, and something shifts. Not just in your results, but in how you see yourself. You stop being someone who tries things. You become someone who does them. That identity, built one committed decision at a time, is what separates the people who change from the people who spend years meaning to change. Words are not neutral. They shape how you think, how you act, and ultimately who you become. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I'll try," stop. Ask what you're actually willing to commit to doing. If the answer is nothing specific, that's worth knowing. If the answer is something real, say that instead. Try less. Commit more. The difference between those two words is the difference between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. That's it for today. Catch you next time.